Good morning. It is day 101 on the Pacific Crest Trail. As you can see, there's a lovely sunrise on its way. Left fairly early this morning, about 5:30, I think. Trying to get into, or at least to the highway, to get into Chester for about 10:30 if I can. Got about 13 miles. 3 of those miles are pretty much straight up. And it's about 1,200 feet of elevation gain, and then the other 10 are all down, so should be fairly cruisy for most of the day. As I said yesterday, today we're going to celebrate getting halfway along the Pacific Crest Trail, which is wild. It's just crazy. From today onwards, I'm going to be closer to Canada than I am to Mexico, which first time that's happened, obviously. So yeah, that'll be fun. It is all burn zone thing, especially from the halfway marker onwards, so it may not be the most pretty scenery today, but we shall see. Yeah, bring it on.
Hello again. Today was a massive success in that I achieved everything I set out to and managed to make it about 20 miles in total on trail. So yeah, big success for the day, but we all know it's never that simple. Many things happened within a day. So starting off went fairly smoothly, a little bit of uphill. Otherwise I got closer to the top of the hill, I could start to smell smoke, and then I noticed that all of the views in the distance were looking a bit hazy, as if there was smoke everywhere, and it turns out there was. I was a little bit worried that I was going to have my first kind of experience with an active fire, but luckily it's nothing too close. I don't think it's anything that's directly affecting the trail yet anyway. It's the green fire, which is about 50 miles away from where I am now. It is further north, so I'll probably get a bit closer to it, and I've seen some comments about people being worried about the smoke. But yeah, we'll kind of watch and see what happens. And on that note, I decided that I don't like burn zones all that much. Like, they look quite bleak, and they get you covered in dirt and soot that's like really difficult to get off. Like, I showered today, and now I look just as bedraggled as I did at the beginning of the day. But it's fine. We'll be away from here fairly soon. Anyway, I digress. The rest of the downhill, so like the remaining 10 miles after the uphill, was lovely. It wasn't very steep, so the miles just kind of flew by. So yeah, I made it to the halfway point, had a look through the trail register just to see where all of my friends who are ahead were. Assigned, of course, left a little note for the ducklings too. And yeah, and then I continued to zoom downhill, made it into Chester at 10:15, which was ahead of schedule. Woohoo! Of course, the first thing I did was get myself a Mountain Dew, which I've been craving for the last few days, so it was nice and refreshing. Got it out of the fridge. It was lovely. And I got a resupply for the next 3 days at Dollar General, which wasn't the best. I didn't have the most amazing selection, and everything that I'm going to be eating over the next few days is mostly made of sugar. But at least I'll have energy. It'll get me through to the next 3 days. That's all I need. And then I got all of my chores sorted, so started off with a shower. Although actually I started off with a hose shower, because I'd heard that the shower is like a public pay shower, wasn't very reliable when taking your coins. So there was a hose outside, someone else was using it, so I thought I'd rinse off my legs and feet just to get rid of some of the dirt before I went in, which worked well. I chatted to the other hikers who were milling around because it was right outside a laundromat, so they were all getting their clothes washed. I then went to a barber's and got my beard trimmed, so I looked slightly less bedraggled than I did before, even with all the dirt. I charged up my stuff, I got lunch, and packed out my dinner for tonight. I also super glued my shoe toe guard because it had come loose, which was a bit annoying after only 250 miles, so that's fixed now. and I was back on trail by 5 p.m. Perfectly on time. Managed to get a hitch with someone else. Excellent. Trail started off nice and flat to begin with. There's a little bit of uphill, but what made it exciting, I say exciting with quotation marks, because we had more shin-high Colorado whitethorns, everyone's favourite. And there was actually a section where they got really evil, hiding in between some other high bushes, and they kind of tore my legs to shreds a little bit, mainly because of all the scabs that I had healing, but still it was rude that they were pulling off the scabs and making me bleed anew. So I think I've got a photo for reference. And there were also mosquitoes around, so I kind of had to push my way through. So it was only a little bit hellish. But it didn't last forever, which was nice. And then I filtered some water to get me through the last hour or so of hiking. And I ate some cheese for some energy, and off I went. And things got greener, kind of in a lull of the burn zone, it seems. And managed to make it to camp before 7:30 p.m. Where I then ate my dinner, which was a lovely wrap and some more cheese, and I prepared cold-soaked oatmeal or porridge for my breakfast, and I taped up some holes in my tent, so it's been very eventful. It's also getting really hot recently. It's being in NorCal is kind of like being in the desert again, except that there are occasionally higher climbs, and also it's on fire half the time. So I am potentially considering doing some night hiking, or at least earlier mornings, just to try and get a lot of hiking in. So if I need to, I can take a rest in the middle of the day. But there's no shade to hide behind because everything's burnt away. So we'll see. I might just push through after an early morning. But yeah, going to try and go for a pretty long day tomorrow. We'll see how I go, and I'll see you there.